Nice. So today we'll be learning how to make x the subject of the formula. So before I continue, x is any letter. Remember there are 26 or something letters in the alphabet. So don't get too accustomed to only seeing x. It could be any other letter. Alright, so there are four laws. Transposing is the actual word for making a letter the subject of the formula. So if they change up the word, don't get confused. So let's go. Step one, not step, but law one. When we are transposing for x, we carry across the operations around the letter, in this case x, over the equal sign. So we are carrying across operations. As the first row, operations we are carrying across. Second, when an operation goes across the equal sign, it switches to the opposite operation to what it was before. Okay, so when the operation goes across law 1, it switches to the opposite, addition to law 2. So now each number must have an operation attached to it. So, okay, so each number, we look at the operation and we carry across the operation, and that operation switches to the opposite of what it was before. And the last step, always expand brackets first. Okay, so anytime you see brackets, always expand it first. If I continue, let's go back to the lower school. So the opposite of addition, I believe it was subtraction. The opposite of subtraction, I believe is addition. The opposite of division is multiply, and the opposite of multiply is divide. And there's one more, kind of weird one, but still same. So x squared. So the opposite of square is square roots. Yeah. So in this case, is this part, this 2 will be carrying across. So when this goes across, the 2 will switch to that, a square root sign. So the opposite of square is square root. So there's a additional one. So if you didn't know, well, now you know. Let's continue. So there are 4 operations in maths that we need to know about. So the first one is addition. So how will addition look when we are transposing for a letter? So x plus 4, like we're literally saying it, plus so addition. So plus 4 here is the addition. This is how it will look. Get accustomed to it. And same thing to change the letter. Z plus 3 plus 3. So this is addition. If we go across the subtraction now, it looks the same, we just swap the addition sign for subtraction sign. So subtract 4 and Z subtract 5, which we say in the word. So if you forget it, just call it out in English. Nice, we're going across the division. So x divided by 4. You literally call out the operation when you say it, so never get confused. And you write one more, it looks something like, a divided by -3. Remember, they are negative and positive numbers. This here looks like a 9. Alright, that looks better. Or you could have b divided by, 6. Yeah, all those are division. X divided by. And last, but certainly not least, we have multiplication. So anytime you'll see 2x, this is translated as 2 multiplied by x. So don't get confused. So this is how multiplication will look. So we could have 3x negative 4x, because notice I never said subtract 4x. This is a negative number. So once you say the English, it will help you a lot. Okay, so all these multiplication. So negative 15x multiplication. So you're looking at the number and what operation is attached to the number. In this case, these are multiplication. So these are your 4 operations. And with that said, let's continue. Right, so to know what operations to carry across first, second, etc, whatever that is, we follow the acronym SAMD, or SAMD if it is what SpongeBob. So it rhymes with it, but it's not N, it's a M, okay? So SAMD is kind of BIDMAS backwards, but without the B, because you're supposed to do B first, so it can't be SAMD. But anyway, so S is for subtraction, A is addition, M is multiplication, D is division, and I is something called indices, or if to break it down into a simpler word for you, it's called powered letters. Example, x squared and x cubed. Yeah, so and this is basically a powered letter or a powered number, but in this case we say powered letters. That's for understanding purposes. Right, so nice. So we know we have our operations, and now we know what operations to carry across first, second, third, fourth, etc. etc. Okay, so this acronym helps you to know which operations to carry across in what specific order. Okay, so for example, let's have a quick example, even though we didn't do it. So if we have 2x plus 3, so what operations we see here? So we see an addition from on top, so I write a on top, and the 2. Number the circling numbers, so this is multiply. So if I was to transpose for x here, I'll characterize the a first, so that is before m, and the m second. Yeah, that's the foundation right there. Okay, so let's continue. Right, so you have some questions. Right, top tip. Circle the number, including the sign here, and carry them according to its operation across the equal sign. So repeat, we circle the number, not the letter, because that way we want to get by itself. Okay, and carrying it across according to its operation or the order in the assembly across the equal sign. So let's try some questions. Let's go. So number 1, so let's go. 2x plus 4 is equal to 10. So whip out the calculator. And let's go. I whip out mine. Can't see it. So let's go. So let's go. So we want to get x by itself. So let's circle the numbers around it. So including the sign. So we have plus 4 and 2. So let's label. So this is addition. And this is multiply. So which one will I carry across first? The a and then the m. Alright, so let's go. So let's go. Remember, when I carry across operation, it switches to the opposite below 2. So when I carry across addition, it will switch to subtract. So we have 10 subtract 4, which is 6. So now on the left hand side, we just have the 2x. On the right hand side, we have 6. So we still have this 2, which is multiply. So when I carry across, it will switch to divide. So we have 6 divided by 2. So now the x is by itself, which is what we want, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Yeah, and that's all done. Right, number 2. So we have same thing, so let's circle our operations. So we see a little subtraction going on here, and this is not subtraction, is still multiply. Yeah, don't fall for the trick. So let's go. So we characterize the s first and the m second, just like before. So when I character subtraction, it switches to addition. So I'll get 16 plus 4. So on the left hand side, I still have a minus 3x. Right hand side, 16 plus 4 is 20. So let's go. So when I characterize this multiply with the negative 3, it's not going to switch to 3 because it's the operation of carrying across, not the actual number. So 20 divided by negative 3, and I'll leave it like that. No decimals here. So last but not least, 2x divided by 3 is equal to 4. So what operations am I seeing here? So this 2 is under multiplication, and this 3 here is under division. So this is a different operation combination. So sum dib. So m is before d, so m is first and d second. So m, but in this case, what I like to do, and there's a law that anytime you'll see division as a rule of thumb, always carry it across first. Okay, so it will help to clear up everything else, as you'll see in this case. So even though somebody says the character is the m first, yeah, just help yourself. But we'll try and see if we get the same answer and let's see. So let's go. So division, the character is m first, even though it's second, it's not going to change the answer. It will just look nicer. So when I character division, I'll get multiply. So 3, so 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. So we have 2x is equal to 12. Look how much nicer that is looking. Yeah. So this is the correct way. So now we have multiply, so it goes across, get divide. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So let's try and see if we do the opposite way of carrying across the m first and see if we get the correct answer. So if I carry across multiply first, so we have, let's do down here, we have 2x on 3 is equal to 4. Alright, so if you characterize the 2 first, which is multiply, we'll get divided when it goes across. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we have x on 3 is equal to, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now we have division with the 3. So when this goes across, you will get multiply. So 2 by 3, and you see it's still going to get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which way you do. But as a rule of thumb, for the first part I did, normally in more complicated questions, as you see in due time, division is always the best thing to characterize first. Once you see it, with addition to no other sign, just multiply and divide. Once you have MD, the D is always the first one to go over. Okay? Nice. And we have a little guess here. Remember, it's the operation attached to the number we are moving, not the number itself. Okay? So very important, the operation. So let's go. 2 more questions. Ooh, we see in brackets here. So if we learn law 4, when we have brackets, always expand the brackets. And if you can't remember how to expand the brackets, there'll be a link coming up in about here right now. Yeah, so click it and come back to the video. But let's go. So expanding, so just multiply the number outside by everything inside the brackets. So 2 by x is 2x, and 2 by 4 is plus 8, and that is equal to 16. And it boils down to something that we know how to do already. So we have addition, we have multiply, we know a and a2. So we characterize the a first, it switches to subtract. So we subtract 8 is addition. 16 subtract 8 is 8. And we have the 8 here with multiply. When it goes across, it switches to divide. Sorry about that. So x is equal to a divided by 2, which is 4. Right, and last one, which is the part where I was telling you with the division. So what operation do we have here? So we have addition, we have multiply, and we have divide. So in this case, we know A is sum and the 3. So in this case, they can't characterize the addition first because the 2 governs over everything. So in this case, as I said, we'll characterize the division first since it has power over everything. So we characterize division, get multiply. So we boil down with 2x plus 4 is equal to 16. And we now do this. So we have addition, and we have multiplication. Characterize the a first, as we learned before. So we get subtract. So 16 subtract 4 is 12. And we have multiply, goes across to divide. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Yeah, nice. Nice. Well done. So one more question. Trick question. So this is the hardest one. Not really hardest question. Don't think. So if I had this, x squared is equal to 4. So I want to get x by itself, but as we did before in the first part of the video, this 2 is square. So if I carry this across, I'll get square root. And the square root of 4 is 2. Yeah, and the same way the other way around. If I have the square root of, say, y is equal to 2, I want to get y by itself, so I need to get rid of this, and this is square root. So when this goes across, it switches to square. So y will be equal to 2 squared, which is 4. Yeah, so those are the additional ones. And yeah, with that said, that's the end of transposing. Take it easy, guys, and we'll talk.